What's going on, guys? B Scott here with you. And on today's show, we got your tight end sit starts. Obviously, you're going to be starting your tight end studs, but most of the tight ends this week have pretty good matchups. So I'll have all the information for you. Keep it locked and loaded right here at the First 4 Downs. What's going on, guys, and welcome back. As I mentioned in the preview, we're going over the tight end sit starts this week. On today's show, we're going to be talking about all the tight ends that I think you should be starting ahead of week 2 of the fantasy football season. So before we get to today's content, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, share, thumb bell, all that good stuff. I'll have the timestamps for you for any players that you're looking for specifically. It's going to be a pretty short video today. I got a lot of people that are going to be starting. Not too many sits for you at the tight end position. They're all going to be pretty decent this week. So let's dive right into it. Obviously, you're going to be starting Travis Kelce. It makes sense. 2 touchdowns last week against Cleveland Browns team. It's Travis Kelce. It doesn't matter. So on to Waller. 19 targets from Darren Waller on Monday night against Baltimore Ravens. He's probably on pace for 5,000 targets. So luckily, if you got Waller, that's great for you. And then George Kittle, round out the top 3 tight ends. Had a pretty decent week, not necessarily too large, but this week going against an Eagles team, I think he could have a pretty good day here. They're going to need him if they want to get a win in Philly. So those are the 3 big tight ends you're starting anyway. Mark Andrews, kind of a down game here against the Las Vegas Raiders defense that looks improved. But I wouldn't hurry too much or be worried about it. They play the Kansas City Chiefs this week. Big points in that game, possibility. So you're obviously firing up Mark Andrews. TJ Hawkinson. This is why you don't go off information like last year. San Francisco was great against tight ends last season. And this season, TJ Hawkinson just flat out burned him. Obviously, the offense is going to run through him. I expected that. We all expected that. And he had an absolute great day against San Francisco 49ers team. So he's a must start every week, plain and simple. Kyle Pitts. This is a worry spot for me, considering Tampa Bay. That's who they play. Is Matt Ryan going to even find time to be able to throw the football? You saw last week. Can he hang around these NFL caliber cornerbacks at least this year? I'm not so sure with it. 8 targets. You're still probably firing him up here in a game where Atlanta's probably got to score some sort of points if they want a chance. I worry about that offensive line for him. It's not looking good for Matt Ryan or any of the pass catchers, but Kyle Pitts, you're probably firing him up here. Logan Thomas, last week caught a touchdown. Is a pretty safe play. Playing the New York Giants defense that's pretty good, but Noah Fant still had a decent day against them last week. You're firing up Logan Thomas. This is a spot where I'm gonna set it and forget it every week because he has the opportunities to have more target share. It is the lowest point over under total, so maybe he doesn't get in the end zone and doesn't get you to that 10-point, 12-point mark that you're looking for, but you're probably firing him up here in a matchup that's not great but not bad. Dallas Goedert. This is a bad spot. I think the 49ers defense is still pretty good, but obviously you saw Hawkinson light him up last week. I don't know if Goddard's going to see enough target share like Hawkinson to be able to make it. He's going to need a touchdown for his value. He got one last week. It worked out. I think this week you're probably firing him up here in what could be a decent scoring game. So obviously Dallas Goedert's an option. Another option, Rob Gronkowski, coming off an outstanding game. Looked great, looked the part, and so you're obviously starting Gronkowski in a plus matchup here against an Atlanta team that didn't look good on offense or defense. So you're firing up Gronkowski. Noah Fant, definitely a huge option for me this week, considering Jerry Jeudy's out. You should see a target bump here. He benefited from it last year with Courtland Sutton. I like it this week, especially against the Jacksonville defense that looks terrible, period. Houston lit him up. So fire up Noah Fant, no problem. Good for volume this week. Another option this week, Tyler Higbee, going against the Indianapolis Colts defense. Just gave up touchdown to Gerald Everett in the red zone. Higbee's an option. He looked pretty good last week, so obviously, if you got him and you're starting him this week, I think it's an okay matchup. Now I got a few dart throws. Gerald Everett caught a touchdown last week going against Tennessee Titans defense that really didn't even look like they showed up at all. So Gerald Everett is definitely a good dart throw option for me. Another guy, Jared Cook, going against the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys, you saw what Gronkowski did to him over the middle of the field. Jared Cook had 8 targets last week, and I think he can sustain that type of volume on a weekly basis. So Jared Cook's definitely a dart throw for me. And then Mike Gesicki. I know a lot of people came out and said, oh, you should drop him and things like that. Yes, they've added pass catchers. Jalen Waddle. Devontae Parker's healthy. Will Fuller coming back. So obviously, you got to limit your expectations. But last season, Gesicki against these Buffalo Bills in 2 games, 10-plus targets both times. So Gesicki's a guy that could have a decent week here in a game in which there could be some points scored. I get it. Buffalo's defense is great. Miami's defense is great. But these teams kind of got out of hand last season. Maybe we see that again this season. So Gesicki's definitely a dart throw for me. Not too many sits out of the stud tight ends that are here. I mean, they all have pretty good plus matchups this week. So, I wouldn't be worried about sitting too many of these guys. Fire up most of your tight ends. Feel comfortable with it this week. So that's been my tight ends. Mostly starts, not too many sits, couple dart throws for you. And once again, if you like the content, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, share, thumb bell, all that good stuff. Comment, drop a comment in the comment section. If there's a tight end I didn't mention or you want to hear about, I got no problem giving you my opinion. So for the first 4 downs, it's been B. Scott, and I'm out.